Welcome to the concert of Chelmsley Wood for the Sports Radio Q&A with Paul Devlin, Geoff Horsefield and Michael Johnson, hosted by Peter Hall and me, the Gabbie Cabbie, Birmingham's answer to the Chuckle Brothers. To you. To be fair, I was hoping for a comedian to get you warmed up, but Lee Clark's busy. Right, let's introduce...
It's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I'm very harsh. I bark but I don't bite. Please welcome to the floor one of the smallest centre halves that we've had, but one with the biggest heart. And if he was playing centre half, bugger all to get past him. Michael Johnson! Johno, welcome to Chelmsley Wood. Take a seat down there.
Good to see you, sir.
Okay, next to the floor. Some people only need one name. TF used to have the initials. One name for this geezer. The Horse! Geoff, strictly speaking, that was two. Welcome to Chelmsley Wood. Take your seat, mate.
Only man to score in the derby match and keep a clean sheet in the same game. Twice.
And finally, one of the biggest Birmingham City fans ever to wear the Birmingham shirt. One of the most honest, frank, in your face, says it as he sees it. Paul Devlin! Devs, welcome to Chelmsley Wood. Has anybody got any questions? Okay, think of it. And guys,
keep them clean. Try and keep them clean as well, please.
And put your hands up because we're recording it, and it's all best coming through the PA system. Firstly, I want to ask Devlin. Dev, you and Tatey were kicked out of a club in Chelmsley Wood. What one was it, Dev?
That didn't take long, did it? Eh?
Was that you?
That didn't take long.
It was the one over the road, the Three Seas Club. I got to tell you, I was single at the time.
Yeah.
I was single. I was doing something I shouldn't be doing, in a place I shouldn't be doing it.
Toilets?
Yes.
You only signed one of them though, didn't you?
Well, let me tell you, I think there's a certain fella over there who was in the car with me when we drove off. She was waving to me like that, and it wasn't my greatest moment, put it that way.
And to Geoff,
I think we're going to have to edit this programme before it gets ended around it.
Come on.
a
I'm not going to
copper,
answer it.
a copper, early mornings, and a garden in Solihull. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
Really?
The policeman, yeah. Fiction.
And Johno, top man. Yeah, I know you are. Yeah. I asked you a question over Twitter. Birmingham City or Derby?
It's not.
Yes,
No?
it is. You know, yeah.
Do you really need to ask me that?
No, I don't, to be fair.
Birmingham City all day long.
Top man to Johno. Please, if you work that side. Anybody over here wants a question answered?
Just before we do, Paul, one question for all you lads tomorrow. Staying up or going down?
Wow. I think we all want one thing, which is to stay up. But
We all do, but what do you reckon?
we're looking at it, and to be fair, 2 wins at home is not good enough for us. It really isn't, and I really, really hope that we do. And I'm glad we're away from home, because if we're at St Andrews, then we're definitely down. And we look at it, I hope my friend Nigel Pearson, who's we're at West Brom with, who's at Leicester City now, does us a massive favour, and we can get a result, because we want to stay in this division. I think people keep saying to us that it'd be good for us to go down. I don't think it would. I really don't. We need to stay in the Championship.
And to the other boys as well, Paul Devlin and to Michael Johnson.
Well, brutally honest, I think we're going down. To be brutally honest. My heart says one thing, my head...
It's all right, Devlin.
It's working, Dave.
Change the batteries on it, batteries. No, before the Leeds game, the last 3 games, I thought our only realistic chance was beating Leeds. I really did, because they're no great shakes. And I know the away form and everything, but it's a fairy tale, innit, if we go up there and we win. And we ain't had much of a fairy tale this season, so my head's telling me that we're going to go down, but my heart still thinks, well, we might dig out that one performance that keeps us in the league. So I hope to God I'm wrong and we dig something out and we win and Leicester do us a favour, but I'm not holding my breath, to be honest.
Johno?
We're going to win. We're going to dig something out tomorrow. I really think on the road we've done well this season. And the boys are right, you know. I'm so glad that we are away. Bolton have got nothing to play for. And Tatey predicted it. Tatey said to me, and he was right, the last 2 games, he said, we'll lose the last 2 games. We'll win at Bolton. There'll be a pitch invasion. They'll nick the post, they'll nick the crossbar and bring it back to St Andrews.
They'll do that regardless of the result, to be honest with you. Don't need to be.
And also, lads, I've got to say, there is a travelling army going. Things have been really, really difficult at the Blues this season. Our fans have been absolutely fantastic, haven't they?
I think that's the main thing. I think that's, obviously Devs is from Birmingham, I'm from Barnsley, and Johno's from Derby. You are from Derby, aren't you? Nottingham, all right. I knew it was somewhere around there.
Same thing, anyway.
Same thing to me. But that's why we affiliate ourselves with Birmingham City and we support Birmingham City because of the fans. Simple as that. And Devs knows that it means a lot to us, and we don't want to see ourselves going down into League One, because it'd be an absolute travesty for the club. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just praying that we stay up and the other side of the city go down. I really do.
I don't think you're giving the argument any through tonight, man.
As players, you're going to go into that. I mean, obviously you 3 aren't, but players going in to that game, our status in the Championship relies on that. Obviously the players are going to be very focused. That manager doesn't seem to be getting it out to them how important it is. He don't seem to be getting performances out of them players. But you're playing against Bolton. Them players from Bolton will be playing in flip-flops. They aren't going to go in for 50-50, surely. Is that something that psychologically them Bolton players will be looking at and will not be giving 100% like our players should be? How does that work from a professional's point of view, guys?
Is it on me here?
Well, obvious.
I think from a professional point of view, like you said with Bolton, yeah, they maybe put the flip-flops on, but we've also, the situation that we're in is we've got to depend on other results, which is massive. I've had it at West Bromwich Albion, we had to depend on other results, and it's not nice. Obviously, as a professional footballer, you've got to try to keep to your own game and try to win the game, and that's what we've got to do tomorrow. And with Clarkey trying to put it over to the players, obviously he's going to do his homework. And listen, and I've said it many a times when we've been together on this stage, that he's a friend of mine, and some things that he does, I can't justify. I look at it and think he's wrong in his decisions where he plays. Yeah, his hands have been tied behind his back, but some of his decision making, playing people out of position, when, no disrespect to all the women in here, but women are telling me what players should be playing in different positions, and I'm agreeing with them. I really am, and it's just one of those things. But listen, let's get behind them tomorrow. We've got a travelling fan, and hopefully we can get the 3 points.
Yeah, I don't think, I know it might appear like it at times, no professional player goes into a game not wanting to play bad. And I know sometimes it does look that way. And you can look at it 2 ways. Bolton have got nothing to play for, but also the pressure's off. There might be 1 or 2 of them lads playing for a move or playing for a contract. We've got to go there and we've got to dictate the pace of the game. We've got to take the game to them. We've got to be aggressive, we've got to be in the face, and we've got to really have a go. I've got to agree with what Horse says. Up until probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, I sort of give Clark a bit of leeway because he's doing a job under ridiculous circumstances. But when you're playing players out of position, you're not helping yourself. And you got a bloke who scored 10 goals in 16 games, you leave him on the bench when you need to win a game. Your biggest goal threat, which to me isn't, I'm not a manager, but it just isn't logical.
Johno?
I don't know what I can say after that. The 2 boys have nailed it, really. I mean, obviously tomorrow's a difficult game. Bolton have got nothing to play for. The danger, what I think, is that it's all that razzmatazz of your home game, the last one of the season. They want a like carnival atmosphere. Nobody wants to bow out of a home game with a defeat. So whilst I understand that we are thinking, you know, Bolton might have the flip-flops on, what we have got to do is score first. Because if we score first, that completely kills them. They'll think, oh, well, you know, not 45 minutes, 50 minutes left, we're out of here anyway. If they score first, then I guarantee it's going to be a really difficult game for us to get back in. As everybody knows, we need a big result there tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think it's make a difference having Robbo back tomorrow?
Yeah, and I can answer this one because I played with him at West Bromwich Albion, and we played in the Great Escape, and he's the character that I think if you had 11 Robbos in the side, we'd be way, way above mid-table. I really do. Yeah, he's 35, 36-year-old, where his legs have gone, but he's got the heart, desire, and he knows what it means to not just Birmingham City, but Midlands football, to keep Birmingham City in the Championship, and he will care. He's a great captain, and like I said, he will do his utmost to keep Birmingham City in the Championship tomorrow. And it is his old club as well, which,
yes,
if you look at it, it's got a little added incentive for him.
I mean, they've had a lot of problems, and I think Clark's team selection on Easter Monday was one of them. But with Robbo out the team, there's just been no leadership, and I think tomorrow you might just see a slightly different attitude from them with him back in the side.
Well, they need it, don't they? I mean, one thing you need in a game like this is people with a character. These two lads sitting next to me, people that you can hang at, and you know if you're going to be in a struggle, in a fight, you know, we'll tell you. I know that I'd go to the ends of the earth for him, and vice versa. And you need people like that in your team. I don't think Blues have got enough characters like that in their team at the minute. That's why we're in the position we're in. But Robbo is one of them characters.
Guys, anybody got any questions over here? Put your hands up in the air if you have. Hold on, one over here.
Who do you think will take over the club, whether we go down or stay up anyway? Who would you like to see? And do you really think that these Chinese are going to bugger off?
I'd like to see, I mean, it's going to be a consortium by the sound of it. I'd like to see a British-based consortium, preferably Brummies, with the club at heart. I did hear something the other night, and Ken Bates' name was mentioned, but there's another couple of apparently Far East consortiums, and I don't want a scenario of out of the frying pan into the fire, but I don't think these are going to go as easily as we all think they're going to go. You know, what you got to remember about Carson Young is he's do you know what I mean? So he's not going to say, right, I mean, what's his end game? What's he thinking now? Well, I'll come out and nick and I'll come back and it'll be great. So when you're dealing with someone who's not logical, you can't think logically. So personally for me, Birmingham-based consortium, big clean out, start afresh, hopefully in this division, and we build again.
Let's assume, Dev, that they ain't going to go, because they're not going to. They've got vested interest, they've got money there. Let's be truthful, they bought Birmingham for about 20 million more than the Villa. Now, we love the Blues and we think that we're a bigger club than the Villa, but history says that we're not. 20 million more than Aston Villa. You've got to be balmy to do that. So if they're not going to go, how do we force them out?
You haven't got to be balmy, mate. You just need somebody to launder your dirty money. That's why they bought it. It's not that balmy. They're crooks.
It's quite easy. The power remains within this room.
Yep.
And fans, if people don't go, and that's really sad of me to say that, if people don't go, then they need to do something quite quickly.
Yep.
There's nothing coming through the turnstiles, and that's the only way you're going to do it. It's fan power. You know, if 25,000 people keep going, or 20,000 people like the other night, then obviously there's money coming through turnstiles. If all of a sudden there's 1,500 people, the investment doesn't look so clever then, and they've got to do something quickly.
Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I've been a season ticket holder for many a time. I haven't been to a game this season. I've stayed away purposely because I don't want to put my money into the Chinese. I want them to bugger off. And I think if we all stood together and none of us went in, stood on the car park, showed our support for the club we love, but told them Chinese with our feet to do one and run them out of Birmingham, that's the only way I can see it happening.
I've been saying, as you know, I've been saying this for some time. The protests and the flags, futile, because at the end of the day, they don't care. They don't care about anyone in this room. Don't really care about Birmingham City. And I've been saying it for some time, and it'll never happen because it just won't happen. The only way you force them out immediately is by nobody going, and then they've got no money. But that will never happen.
One thing that's been levelled on, guys, what would the players feel like if the fans didn't go in? You know.
To be fair, as a professional footballer, I think that's difficult. It really is. As a professional footballer, and these two will tell you either side, you're a very, very selfish person.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've done his coaching. Johno's done a lot more than me, and you've done your coaching badge, and you go through that. And it's when you flip to the other side, you realise what players are problems. Players are problems. They really are, because we're selfish. And I look back and we had people taking different trainings, going on off to a different tangent. People taking different training sessions, and we were either piss out of them and going, all right, me and Devs will piss you on. But that's what they've got to deal with. And as a professional footballer, you're a selfish person, and I think a lot of Blues players will not be thinking about the club unless they're Birmingham based. They'll be thinking about the futures. Can I nick a move somewhere else? Can I play well? And at the minute, they're not playing well. I don't think a player in the Birmingham side at the minute can warrant to move anywhere else.
Is there any questions? Yeah, hold on. First hand up here.
Like, it's all at the Blues. Who's the best player you've played with and the worst player you've played with?
Not including each other, by the way. Before you start.
Me personally, the best. And Devs will disagree with me here, and we always have this disagreement. Technically, Christoph, absolutely out of this world. He really was. And you can clap, and you listen to his side of the story, and then you clap at him as well, because he was gifted beyond belief. He really was. He got the touch and everything, but he must have cost me 4 years out of my career, the amount of running I had to do for him. That's the only trouble. The worst player, to be fair, I can't think of a worst player. Who? I don't think I played with Ferdinand Coley. I'll put you on to Johno about Ferdinand Coley.
Without shadow of doubt, Ferdinand Coley was the worst. I think there was a game, I think it was Arsenal. He came on, I think he lasted about 45 minutes before he got the hook. And I'd never seen him after then. But by far, Ferdinand Coley was probably the worst. Nice man, let me get that first. But an absolute stinker of a player. Best player, I've got to agree with Geoff, Christoph, even though Dev will have a little story to tell you about Christoph.
Yeah, I agree with Ferdinand. I mean, he came as a right back, stroke, centre midfielder, left winger, goalkeeper. I don't know what he was. I remember playing Fulham away, and I think it was his first and only full game for the Blues. And everyone remember Terry Phelan, left back, scored one goal in about 700 appearances. That was against us that day. Ferdinand was playing right back, I was playing right wing, and he just had no concept of where he had to be. So I've lost the ball somewhere, I turned round, and Ferdinand's further up front than me, on the left-hand side. And Terry Phelan, who I think he got 1 or 2, he's gone down and scored, and we lost 1-0, 2-0. He was a lovely kid, like Johno says, but absolutely bonkers. He's a training the AstroTurf with big metal studs, like all that, just crackpots he was. No, I mean, don't go into Christoph yet. Technically, fantastic player, and I'd probably say technically the best player I played with. But I remember playing away at Charlton, and me and Stan Lazaridis was on the bench that day, and Horse and Dugarry played up front, and Dugarry strut about. Horse is running like a lunatic. He's bashing the centre half, and he's holding the ball up, and they're spitting at him, and they're punching him. He's been like Superman for 80 minutes, right? And Christoph basically ain't tried a leg. So then the ball's come to Christoph, and he's done a back hurl or a flick, gone to someone, and Bruce has gone, oh, the man's a genius. The man's a genius. And I've looked at Stan, and we've started laughing. He ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing for an hour. So then 10 minutes later, ball's gone to Horse. Horse has tried to do a flick or something like that, and he's gone nowhere. Bruce threw his bottle on the floor, and he's gone, why is he doing that? Barnsley bricklayer, why is he doing that? And that was Horse for 80 minutes. I think you both scored that day, 1-2-0. And but Horse for 80 minutes is blood and thunder, but Christoph just had those couple of moments of brilliance, which is why he was a World Cup winner, all joking apart, a World Cup winner and a European champion winner. And he was technically the best player. I have to question his work rate at times, but you know, I think it was a great match when you had Horse and Dugan. It got Beauty and the Beast, wasn't it?
This is Ron Atkinson, and you're listening to Sports Radio.
And a question over there.
Evening, gents. Take the Villa games away, because we all know we love them. What's the best game you played in? And then the game that if you could go back and play it again, you wish you could. For me, it would be the boys, I think all three of you played, the Preston playoff game away, when we decided, were we going off the pitch, not going off the pitch. We didn't decide. No, Trevor did, sorry. But then it kind of put, for me, a downer on the players. So did you regret that situation and the manager putting you in it? But what was your best game you played?
Yeah, I think you've answered that. The worst game, I think, for me personally, in a blue shirt was Preston, when we thought we could get a result. We ended up going to penalties, and Trevor, I think he'd flicked the coin and said it was at the opposite end. Was it Tom Finney end? Is it some Tom Finney end? And then they changed it because of the crowd trouble, and when he pulled us off, we all looked at it and thought, you've done the wrong thing here. And I thought he should have gone after that. When he sat in the dugout and sulked, I thought that was his time gone. He should have gone after that, which never happened. But I think my personal favourite game and best atmosphere I've ever played in, the Villa games, I think it's got to be Ipswich Town at home when we beat them in the second leg, when we beat them at St Andrews. The atmosphere, I know the pitch wasn't the best, which I think we did a lot to that helped us, that we beat them. So I think night games are always better anyway. As players, I think these will both tell you that night games are better, but that was absolutely rocking that night. And that, I think personally that's my favourite game.
Didn't you get to that night, mate?
Yes, I did. Hit the crossbar for the third as well. So,
Geoff, why would you say night games are different for players? What is the difference?
I think it's the atmosphere. I just think it's a floodlight. I don't know. I just don't know. I just think it's yeah. We threw into the nightclub after we've won, or well, even if we've lost. But no, it's just the night, and I think it's just everything about it. The atmosphere. I think a lot of people come from work, and there's bigger crowds at night as well. So I think it's just that. Me personally.
I think in all the years I've been at Blues, the best atmospheres have been night games. Yeah. I think it was certainly a pity when they decided we couldn't play the Villa at 8 o'clock anymore. I understand why, but 12 o'clock Sunday is no sort of atmosphere for a derby game.
I think from a personal point of view, I mean, I always remember my debut because Blues was my team, and it was a losing debut at home to Sunderland. But I think Cardiff, Millennium Stadium, there's a couple of games that will stay with me to the day I die, and that will definitely be one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I echo what Dev said. Cardiff for me will definitely be the one that I'll always remember to the day I die. And if I could possibly go back and change one, it probably would be the League Cup final against Liverpool. That would definitely be changed.
Did you just change the linesman? You don't have to change the game.
The linesman, the referee, the result.
And have you still got the hat?
I have actually. I've kept the hat, and it's really weird, that hat, because even kids that are born in the last 3 or 4 years old, they'll always say, "Dad, there's that man with the hat." So it's quite a nice. Still fits though.
Yeah. You got no medals in your house, Johno.
Talking about Trevor Francis, a massive Blues player, probably one of the best Blues players ever.
You won't be able to record much of this bit. No, listen, I mean, it was like falling out with God, because he's God, isn't he, Trevor? But I can honestly say, in 15 years as a pro, he was the worst manager I ever played for. In his first season, I was top scorer and player of the year. In the first 12 games of the season after I'd scored 18-12, and he left me out. But the thing about Trevor, I was bitter because I never wanted to leave the Blues. I wanted to be there for 10 years and, have a sustained spell and score 100 goals. He just didn't like me, and, I didn't like him. And it happens, that happens in football. I was devastated when I had to leave, and we played Blues too. I think it was either 2 New Year's days or 2 Boxing Days in a row, full houses for Sheffield United, getting hammered, and I thought if only people knew the real reason.
Dev, why couldn't you tell fans the real reason?
Well, to be honest with you, I spoke to Colin Chatham and Tom Ross, and they knew the reason. But their answer to me was, well, if we fall out with Trevor, he's not going to talk to us, and I can't be the Blues correspondent if the Blues manager don't talk to us. So you're limited a bit then, aren't you? I mean, anyone that was on the inside, Tatey will tell you, Tatey was there. I never wanted to leave. They was calling me greedy and everything. All I said exactly I'll tell you exactly what I said. He bought him Furlong, Newell, Bruce Ablett, God rest him, and Barry Orne. And at the time, Furs was struggling, and I was out of contract. And he says, well, what do you want? I said, I want exactly what Paul Furlong's on. I don't know, I think it was £5,000 a week or something like that. I said, I want exactly what Furs is on, no more. Yeah, but we've bought him from Chelsea for $2.5 million. And well, he ain't scored him what I'm scoring. I said, oh, I'll be happy with that. And then he put, I was asking for this and that. But the long and short of it was, we just didn't get on, basically. And it was a shame because I wanted to love him that much, because he was that good. Even the lads will tell you, even in training, he used to join in training. He must have been 50 then. He was the best player by a mile in training. Honestly, I'd have loved to have not seen him, played with him in his heyday, because he must have been one hell of a player. But as a man and a manager, not for me.
I think it's sad for all Blues fans, I think, the way it turned out with Trevor, because I think we all wanted him to be the successful manager, and he'd become a bit of a Neely man. We kept losing the playoff semi-final, we lost the League Cup final, but certainly the best Blues player I've ever seen, but not the easiest man to get on with, I think.
No, definitely not. So, really, we'd say Dev's agreed. One at the first, did he find one a week? No. No, I agree with him, and Johno totally disagree. So we're always agreeing and disagreeing with it. When I signed for him, I think after 48 hours, I regretted it. I just did. I'd come from Fulham football. I'd gone from. Listen, don't get me wrong. I appreciate where I've been and what I've done. Yeah. But I come from Halifax, where we used to train, and we always called it Dog Shit Park, where we were picking dog shit up before we were training, and that's what we used to do. And I got a move, luckily, and touch wood, I always did it. I worked hard and got a fantastic move to Fulham. And I went from non-league. Fulham was like the Man City are now. We'd got the massive amounts of money, the best training ground in London. It was better than Arsenal's, better than Chelsea's at the time. It was out of this world. So I went down there for 2 years and got spoiled. Everything was laid on a plate for me. And then John Tigana wanted to get rid of me and called me too aggressive. Why, I do not know. But that's where he went. And I signed for Birmingham, and I never went round the training ground at the time. They showed me around St Andrews, which is a fantastic place. Anyway, I played, and him outside him, he got me sent off, to be fair, at St Andrews when we drew 2 apiece. But I went round the ground, signed, and I'd met Trevor at the time, and I think if you drink a 20 quid bottle of wine than a pint of Stella, he prefers you. And I really do think that. I really do. And I never got on with him. And a funny story, I was playing for Birmingham at the time against my old side, Fulham, the first game of the season in the Championship. Got injured against Mike Taylor, and after about 4 or 5 weeks, I'd been in constantly. And when you get injured, you're in Monday to Sunday, all 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. And I was in, and I said to Pricey, the lads are on an away trip on Friday. I said, listen, Pricey, I'm going AWOL here. I said, I've been in 6 weeks. I said, I'm going on the piss. He said, please don't do that. He said, you're the record signing. I'm going to get in trouble. And I said, Price, listen, I'm going on one. I said, I ain't coming in tomorrow morning. So I went missing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, turned in Monday morning for treatment. Trevor's pulled me in his office and he's gone, Geoff, you're my record signing, £2.5 million. He said, I'm going to have to make an example of you. I'm going to find you a week's wages. Which was, to be fair, more than $5,000 a week. So, to be above that. And he said, I'm going to have to find you a week's wages. And I've said, Trevor, I said, you're not finding me a week's wages. And on my daughter's deathbed, I told him in front of your face, I said, you're not doing it. I said, I've been in 6 weeks. You're not finding me a week's wages. I said, I'll train all week. And All right then, half a week's wages. Trevor, I'm not paying. I'm not telling you what I want. I'm not paying half a week's wages. Give me 500 quid then. Trevor, Geoff. End up getting down to 50 quid cash. And to be fair, after then, I knew that I got him, and I had no respect for the fella. Don't get me wrong, listen, we have a chat and all that, but I know I've got no respect for him. I really did, and we talk about Brucey. He's one of the best managers, and Brian Robson, who I've played for. I'd run through brick walls for him. For Trevor, it's a different scenario. It really is.
And sadly, that is football, isn't it? When we hear as fans a player, a manager who's lost the dressing room, it's as easy as that.
You can lose dressing rooms, you really can. I think if you don't show discipline, and Devs will tell you, when we were doing a pre-season once, weren't we, with Christoph, and we'd had a fantastic season. I think we'd stopped up in the Premier League, hadn't we? And we were doing a pre-season run, and it was a 3,000 metre run, and it was 6 laps, 500 metres. And after 2 laps, we were breathing out of our arse. We've looked behind, and Christoph's in the middle doing kick-ups. And we're thinking, hang on a minute, Brucey, listen, we're running his bollocks off here. But that's how you treat it. I think sometimes players lose respect for managers, they really do.
Johno?
Big Trevor fan, lads, sorry. To be fair, Trevor was good for me. He gave me a 5-year contract, also one player of the year.
Was it more than £5 away?
No, it wasn't.
He's a defender.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it underneath Trevor. Obviously, the spells with the playoffs. Preston, I think Watford was one, and Barnsley was one. You know, I kind of felt sorry because I knew the pressure that he was under to deliver as a manager. Obviously, as a player, fantastic, and you could see that each year he was going under and under, and probably could have gone a lot sooner than when he did leave because the pressure was enormous on him. But I really did enjoy my time underneath him, that's for sure.
One question that's always been levelled, homegrown players, ex-players, managing the team, good or bad?
I think at this present time it'll be good, and I look at a person to the right-hand side of me and Devs haven't done all his badges. We've done a few, but we haven't done them all. But he's from Nottingham. But do you know something? This fella at side of me cares a lot for this club, and he's got the most qualifications, he's got as much as Lee Clark, and he's got a lot of passion in the club. And I'm not just saying it because he's here, because I really believe that somebody like him is Geoff Kenner, that's also got his pro licence, and people that care about the club, which whoever's played for the club, again, we're going back to the fans' affiliation, that they will care. And I think that's what we need. I think we need somebody like that. I think Johno's been trying to get into Birmingham and coaching the kids and all that. And it seems that Birmingham City do not want ex-players involved in the youth side, the reserves, or the first team. And I find that hard to believe, because no matter, you can, and we all go, and Johno knows about the coaching, the new coaches are not professional footballers. They haven't played the game, they don't feel the heart for the club. Who's employing it? Birmingham, the club. And I can't understand why he's not been pulled into the under-21 squad, the reserves, or even gone into the first team and done something. Do you know what I mean? Listen, my friend who's, again, Steve Watson, I played at West Bromwich, I'd have him at side of me more than Steve Watson any day, and I'd get on with Steve Watson, but he cares more about his club than a lot of people do, even as much as this room do. And I think that's got to show some sign of employing people that have been associated with the club.
Okay, question over here.
Random one. Monetary or ability-wise, worst signing for the Blues, please?
Monetary-wise, you've got to be Zigic, my opinion, monetary-wise. And I know you get Zigic fans and this and that. Ability-wise, we've touched on Ferdinand, haven't we? But, yeah, I mean, listen, you can't knock Zigic for his money. We'd all swap places. I don't knock him for that, because fair play to him, he must have a great agent. But what I will say, the games that I've seen him, you can level lack of effort at anyone. I think we're all supporters. We've all followed our team. I've followed Blues. Horses followed Barnsley. Johno's followed Jamaica. You know what I mean? We've all followed those teams. Hang on, It's proper Barnsley kid, followed Liverpool. Yeah, well, you know. But I don't care if I'm watching Blues or whatever. If I see someone giving 100%, they can have as crap game as they want. Because that's all you can do is your best. That's why for 2 years Robbie Savage was our best player, because he could give 100%. And Johno could never have a bad game. Mind you saying that, I did see him have a few. But you just got to try your best. But Coley and Zigic for me.
Dev, something you just said there, though, I think that's true of Blues fans. As long as you put a shift in for the team,
yeah, I mean,
you don't have to be the greatest player in the world, but as long as you put a shift in, people will forgive you.
Well, God loves a trier, doesn't he? We all love a trier, and you know, at the end of the day, none of the three of us sitting here will ever profess to be the best players in the world. But one thing you could guarantee from the three of us, we try. You know, we give what we've got, which might not be a lot at times, but you'll get it.
And I think that's why to this day, I mean, you look at the current squad, that's why Robbo's so popular at St Andrews, because people know they get what he's got.
I think he is. He's old school. He's old school, like us three, and I think that's why we do a lot of these, because, and we have a beer, don't get me wrong, we love a beer, well, me and Devs do, we don't. We like a beer, but we also associate us with the fans, even when we got beat 2 or 3-0 when we played, we'd still go in, I think with Trevor Francis suite underneath, we'd still go in with the fans and talk, oh, you were shit today. Yeah, I was shit. Sorry, I apologise. But a lot of players do not do that now. They go in the fucking Range Rovers, the Bentleys and all that, and off they go. I'm not saying it's about money, and like Dev says, it's not Zigic's fault somebody's giving him £3 million a year, because everybody in this room would take £3 million a year to do their job. It's just like Dev says, if you give 110% like we did, then no fan can ask for anything else. Do you know what I mean? You're going to have bad games. You're going to have 20% bad games in a season. Out of every season, you're going to have 20%. And for fit.
Hold on, there's a question over here, guys.
This one, Paul, and we'll get to a break, all right?
Yeah. Geoff, what was it like to score against the Villa at the Old End?
Listen, I go back to the Ipswich game, which was a fantastic occasion and atmosphere, but I was on the bench, unfortunately. Both again, yeah. Fucking hell, scored the most 2 important goals. But it's both the games. I think my first Premier League goal, and a lot of people don't know this, that my first Premier League goal was against Aston Villa, the first one at St Andrews. But going to Aston Villa and listen, we were under the cosh for the first 15-20 minutes, and then when that all happened with Dublin and Sav. And then me and Dev's come on. I don't know where Johno was. I think he was kit man. It were a great occasion. And to be fair, I was about that far off already in the goal, but I thought I'd have got my head kicked in if I'd have done that.
Do you know how long it took you once you went past Enkelman to put that ball in the net? Because we were at the other end, and it took at least 20 minutes. Seemed to take forever.
To be fair, after the game. And again, we went after the game, and we've gone in the change rooms. Bruce has gone, fucking brilliant, boys, we've beat him again. And we sat there, and he's just looked at me and Devs and gone, just don't go out tonight, please, because you'll get your fucking heads kicked in. And we just looked at each other and gone, nah, we're not going to. We were dancing in the Meerkat at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Close to early. Back in 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to take a bit of a break.
And a pint and back in 10.
Recharging up. Okay, thank you. 15 minutes and then we're going to be back again. And to be fair, if you want to stay here all night, we'll have a lock-in and have it right. I thought Horsefield was a prick up then. Any questions, please put your hands up in the air and we'll come round to you. First question, okay?
I've got one here.
You do the left, I'll do the right. It depends what way you're looking at it, don't you? You ready? Geoff, you ready? Okay, first question.
One of the new managers' names that's been mentioned, Noel Blake. What do the panel think of that?
Noel Blake's never taken the job because he's well in with the England setup. He's not, especially the way the club is now. I don't foresee a manager of any substance coming in until there's over. When that will be and who it will be, I don't know. I can't see Noel Blake for 1 minute doing it because he's very, very well respected in the England youth setup now. Why is he going to do that in a club manager's job where he could get sacked in 12 months? So I don't see that ever happening, to be honest. I might be wrong. I wouldn't argue with Noel. So, if he says he wants it, he can have it.
Geoff, you can get out of
To be fair, I don't know, Noel. Talking about the job, and I've gone on it before, I think it should be somebody, and like Dev says, he's got we call it a cushy job. Win the FA, he's supposed to be a fantastic coach. I don't know the fella personally, Noel, but he's supposed to be a fantastic coach, and he's not going to come out of the England setup to come. And again, it sounds disrespectful to Birmingham City, but to come to a club like Birmingham City and take a job on and then get sacked in 12 months or 18 months, because it's difficult for him, and he's obviously had a good coaching career, and if things go against him, or say a new owner does what they've done this time, then it looks bad on his CV, to be fair. So I think we need somebody like him on my right hand side of me, or somebody like Geoff Kenner, or somebody that's associate, and somebody's mentioned Gary Rowett as well, that's been in the job, that's got affiliation with Birmingham City. I think we really need somebody like that takes the club to heart, and they really do, and they've got a passion about the club.
Johno?
Yeah, I mean, I echo what Geoff's just said. I'm fed up of, they're talking about this manager coming from here and this manager coming. What you need is a manager what understands the fans and can relate what the fans want onto the field of play. It's all right coming with all these, fancy ideas, and this is Birmingham City, and this is the way that Birmingham City fans expect their team to perform and to conduct themselves. And I don't see that at the moment.
The one thing that I will say is, Birmingham City, we still have got a manager, and that's Lee Clark. Hands up in the air, who would keep Lee Clark as their manager? Who would sack Lee Clark tomorrow as the manager? Question, Dinko, you want a question?
I got one over here.
Oh, hold on.
Paul, I got over here.
All right, yeah.
I got one over here, mate.
Stand up, will you? For fuck's sake, I can't see you.
Just two things. First of all, you're throwing any light on why McDermott and Fazackerley left. I mean, we know why the Villa coaches left or got the sack because of bullying, but nothing's come out about.
They wouldn't get around him. They wouldn't get around him, would they? No, I don't know.
And as I was saying, a lot of people probably won't remember, but a few weeks ago, Brian Oddick died. It was a good serving down St Andrews. And at the week he died, and from weeks since, there's never been a mention or a black armband played down there for that lad. That's the type of club that we've all supported for all these years, and I've been there now since 1952. But that's the type of club that we're trying to get going.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just had a few minutes with you at the bar talking about. You're exactly right. Everyone that's supported, played for this club has played their part, and I think every other club in wherever you go, if one of their ex-players died, they're playing a black armband. Exactly. So they probably don't want to spend money on a bit of black tape or a bit of black. But you're right. I mean, that man. I would imagine Gil Merrick here at a time like that. He needs respect, but at the minute, the way Birmingham City is, they don't really care about anybody at the moment, and we'll all keep going down there, and we'll all keep following them. It's just a tragic time for me, and when you're on about managers, well, of course, I mean, it sounds like we're all pals with it. You got a bloke at the end there now who's done every fucking qualification known to man, loves the club, great servant, great player. The one exactly who said that then? Get him in. Well, we all say that. Why doesn't Birmingham City say that?
Any more questions, guys, over here?
Just before you move on, Paul, just going back to the Noel Blake thing, I appreciate what you're saying, that he's got a good job, a settled job with the England setup. I imagine there's still a lot more money in club management than there is in working for the FA on the basis that he works for. No?
Not if you get the sack after 12 months, isn't it? He's got a job for life there.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the one thing I'd say about Noel Blake, and I know that you know him, you wouldn't get the attitude from some of the players you got in play as a manager. That's a fact. If Noel Blake says it's Christmas, I'm eating turkey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't imagine too many of the players answering him back. I've got to admit that. Well, not any with any sense anyway would be answering him back. But yeah. Oh, let me tell you, I think he's been in the meerkat later than that. You know, you know, in Mick Harford, Hoppy, you know, all that firm. They was as balmy as anyone, but they had the interest of the club at heart, and what they did do as well. They gave everything for the club. There were characters, and you know, it's just a shame when you see it now, and you think, look at the players we've had. My hero growing up was Frank Worthington. He made me want to be a player. When I went down the Blues in the early 80s, I seen this bloke with long hair, so obviously I modelled myself on him. Shorts up to there, big thigh, so basically he was everything I never had. He was tall, handsome, good looking hair, and tanned. Oh, I've only got the bad tan. No, I don't have that. But,
and he's still allowed in the 3 Cs.
Yeah, and he's still allowed in the 3 Cs, a bastard. But it was people like that you think, he made me want to be a footballer. I want to be him. I want to be Frank Worthington. I'm a better country and western singer than him now.
Oh, no, there's a question over here, I think.
All I want to say is, lads, we're talking about you three. Get over there.
They are shit. They are
shit
flickers, by the way. They are shit flickers.
Imagine him playing for us tomorrow. Imagine the stints he could do over the ball over the top.
I tell you, I have some passion. Question over here. Yeah, son.
As an overseas player, right, how do you feel when you sign with the club? Do you feel passionate? What do you get from the fans?
When you first signed?
Yeah, do you feel like the fans give you something? Like, as in, like, we've got a lot to play for?
I think so. Not when you first signed. Listen, don't get me wrong, when you first signed, I don't think the club comes to heart at the first, but when you start getting the feel around the city, and obviously when you sign, they put you into an hotel for 3 months, and the worst thing that Birmingham City could have done to me was put me in an hotel, all expenses paid, for 3 months. But they fucking did. But with a Metropole, and I stopped with Johno a few times as well. But no, I'm not saying you get the heart of the club straight away, but I think as soon as you go around the city and you speak, and like we do, we have a beer, I think you get the affiliation with the club as soon as you listen to the supporters.
Do you feel like you got a lot behind you, like a lot on your shoulders when you come to the club?
I think, me personally, I think I did, because I come for a record fee at the time in 2000 for £2.5 million, which were a lot of money at that time. And on art, I didn't perform as well as I should have done the first 6 months. Wasted money apart from us getting through the cup final and promoted, and 2 goals against Villa on the clean sheet. Good answer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, another question.
How long did you celebrate for after we beat Arsenal in the cup final?
Johno, how long did you celebrate for?
To be fair, I've been clipped on YouTube a couple of times celebrating. What I can remember, but yeah, it was a great, obviously, day, and you know, for us, some of us waited 10 years for the cup final day after losing against Liverpool. So to win it against Arsenal was an actual dream come true, and you know, it must have been a good 3 or 4 days for myself before I actually came back down to earth and realised what we'd actually done. Great day, and I can't believe 3 years later, look where we are.
Absolutely. Johno, one thing, you know, I want to move on from that, but the guys have mentioned management. You've been very vocal in the fact that you want to get into management. Why do you think you haven't so far? What's held you back?
I don't know, really. But I mean, there's honestly no answer to that. There's just a lack of opportunities which have presented itself, and but you just keep getting yourself qualified. You keep going on these coaching seminars, and you know, I go and watch training all over the UK and world now, 2 or 3 times a week, and been privileged to see some of the top managers work. So that's currently what I'll do. I'll keep educating myself until that opportunity comes.
I mean, Lee Clark famously went to Barcelona. They done fuck all for him, didn't he?
I'm not sure he went to watch any coaching, but obviously it's not worked.
Do you think in the game people are overcoached? Do you think there's too much emphasis on badges? A lot of it, I think, is complete bullshit.
I'll be honest with you, and I've got to... You might sound this really sad, but somebody sent me today a simple quote from Bill Shankly. For me, one of the greatest managers ever to have walked the planet. And it was really, really simple. I can't flipping find it now. Hold on a minute here. It was memorable then, Johno. Memorable stuff. I'm not even going to bother looking for it now. You've killed me. But it was just something like football's such a simple game. It's about passing the ball, receiving it, and trying to score a goal. And we overcomplicate it with so much blasé with the coaching and load of bollocks about going through the thirds and just go and receive the ball, play the ball, and try and score a goal. And if you're defending, just try and make it horrible for your opponent and keep the ball out of the net. Do whatever it takes.
2 seconds. I think you look at coaching, I think a lot to do with it is man management. Yeah. I really, really do. I think, yeah, you can have your coaches, but if you're going to run through a brick wall for a manager and you get a collectiveness together, which we had, and we always go back to it, we always say, Brucey always told me, I went to Wigan and then ended up at West Brom and getting promoted. We went up and Blues went down. Yeah. That's what happened. And he said to me in the tunnel, I said to Brucey, I said, destroy you today, and I'll play for West Brom. I'm going to destroy you. And luckily we got beat 3-2 at the Hawthorns. But he said to me, he tapped me on the shoulder and said, I got rid of you lot way too early. Yeah. And he did. He got rid of the squad that got him up, that got us up into the Premier League way too early. He just shipped us all off. Got the big money signings in, and don't get me wrong, they're going to come to Birmingham. Somebody's going to give him 25, 30 grand a week, which we were never nowhere near on. Give them the thing. They didn't have the passion, and I like Bruce as a manager, and I would run through a brick wall, but I know he made that mistake, and he told us that.
Because he thought, well, we've got to go to the next level. We've got to go to the next level. What's the next level for Birmingham City? Yeah, well, this is what Bruce will tell you, because I had the same conversation with him. He got rid of Horsefield and he got rid of Darren Carter, a kid he should have built the team round for 10 years. He got rid of Johno and got Muzzy Easy Tin, and all of a sudden, well, we've been in the Premiership, well, we've got a ball Premier. Well, what's a Premiership player? If you give people who have played in the Championship the chance to play 10 years in the Premier, they become a Premiership player, don't they? And he does regret it, because I've had the same conversation with him. That he broke that. I'm not saying we would have been good enough long term, but he broke up the team too soon. And just going back to what Johno was on about there. My lad's in the Blues Academy. He's been in for 3 years, and all them coaches in the Blues Academy, the young kids, they've done all the badges, and fair play to them. They've took the time. Well, a lot of pros are lazy. Me being I don't want to do my badges and sod that. But you got 2 lads here that have done it. And I remember one day on the Wast Hills, that Dean Altham up there, who does the football in the community. So it's like Blues are linked with a college, and you got the academy down there. And I'll never forget it. I'm sitting there watching my lad play against Spurs. The 5-0 down at half time, and the young kid's going, "Oh, well done, keep it, well done, 5-0 down." And I looked up there, and up there coaching with Dean Altham, Martin O'Connor, Dooley Adebola, Geoff Kenner, Kevin Broadhurst. And I'm thinking, they've got this the wrong way round. Them lads there are got to be coaching the academy kids, not the kids who are at college. But they're frightened to death, and Johno won't say it because he's still with they're frightened to death of ex-pros going in the club because they think they're going to take your job. And I says to Dean Altham, I says, why do you have all them? And his answer was to me was, you got that talent there, and if they're better at my job than what I am, they deserve the job. They deserve the job. I like Dean. I get on great with Dean, but it's nothing actually to do with the Blues Academy. Well, it's nothing. Well, I take it you're not a fan. No, but it's nothing to do with the kids. But how come he can have Martin O'Connor coaching the midfielders, Geoff Kenner coaching the defenders, Dealey Adebola coaching the forwards, and on the academy, our future, we got 3 kids 20 years of age who've got every badge, never kicked a ball. How can that be right?
Yeah, bang out of order. Question over here.
Oh, Michael, everyone says that you should be the next Blues manager. So how would you change the future squad right now? Because we've got a lot of youngsters. So if you was the manager next season, how would you coach them and guide them together?
Well, flipping out is a question, isn't it? Well, straight away, the relationship between the fans and the club has to improve. we've got a former player over here, a friend or a family of a former player who's never been, reminded of at St Andrews that this guy played for the club. That can't be right. So straight away there's a massive void for me between the fans and obviously the playing staff. And it's also about delivering the brand of football that you want to see. So I know that the fans from Birmingham City demand 110%. Straight away my recruitment would be around what the fans actually want. At the minute I see a breed of football that players couldn't give two toss from what I'm seeing. There was a game played the other night, a relegation battle against Wigan. We've had 2 shots at goal. That cannot be right. I guarantee if you had these 2 players playing there the other night, you'd see balls being demanded to be crossed, players going past fullbacks and putting the balls in. And if he didn't get past that fullback, he would be giving him an almighty bollocking. I don't see it. I don't see players putting the balls on the line to stop the ball from going in the back of the net. So straight away, all we want is a bit of passion, a bit of desire, a bit of endeavourment in both ends of the box. To go and get your nose broke and go and get the ball in the back of the net if that's what it takes. And literally go and stop a shot with your flipping teeth. I've had 2 teeth, nose broken, probably you can tell by the look. Stitches in the eyes, just by trying to keep the ball out of the net. I see these guys at the minute, centre-halves, gelling themselves in pink fucking boots, by the way, going out to play a game of football.
Automatic yellow card, automatic.
If he's seen me coming out in a pair of yellow or blue boots, the first thing you would do is you'd stamp on my feet and probably elbow me in my mush. But it's far detached from what football should really be.
Paul, I got a question over here, mate. Guys, on a lighter note, everyone likes a joker in the change room, and for every club, what's the best initiation joke you've ever had with any club or associated or any player? What's the worst joke you've ever had with anybody?
Can you pass it on to Paul Devlin, please? I think this is going to be a corker. Make sure you record this.
Have you been stitched up by your son, I tell you that?
I tell you what, he'll be in the same camp as Max Clifford to tell this story. No, honestly, the joker in the camp, right, it was always Johno. I mean, I played with Johno at Notts County, then he come to Blues. He was always the joker, and Ian Bennett as well. But I seen something that I never wanted to see, never thought I'd witness. At Notts County, and so I'm going back about the Blues. If a manager wanted you out, he'd make it hard for you, train with the kids and do this and do that. And so Johno was out of contract. It was just before he come to Blues. So I was making him train with the kids, and Notts County manager. And he was my pal. Me and Johno lived together with Andy Legg. Remember Legger? We all shared the same house. The Love Palace, we called it. So there was a player called Gary Mills who was a European Cup winner with Forest. He's the most... If ever your daughter brought a man home, it would be him. Lovely, straight-laced, professional. Oh no, want to have him 2 points. Won't board him best. But, so we come in, I'll never forget it. I'm in the shower and I'm soaping myself up and covered in suds. And Millsy, he's washing his calves. So he's like that. He's washing his calves like that. Johno was appeared at the door there. He's fucking embarrassed. He's appeared at the door there and he's all fed up and he's gone, fucking hell, Dev, I'm really pissed off. And he's looked at me, he's looked at Millsy, he's gone, Millsy, take that! And rammed his finger right up Millsy's arse. Right? And I was looking in disbelief. I thought, he ain't really done that. Gary Mills, he never jumped up, he shut up. He looked at me, and I was hysterical. He's gone, I can't believe your pal just done that to me.
Come on, Johno.
And he was covered in soap suds, and he walked out, he never even washed them off. He walked out this house, and I turned round to Johno, and he's gone, Dev, he went in up to there. And he ain't got the smallest fingers in the world, so that was it was like a scene out The Accused. answer to your question, Johno was the biggest joker.
Do you still want him as your manager?
As ex-pros, obviously, it's all done in midweek and in the training. Now, Lee Clark's changed the team now 56 times in a row. They haven't played the same 11 56 times. I've had the privilege of training with all three of you to a good level, trained on the same pitch as you. But you knew on a Thursday that you were going to play, and if you had a bad game on a Saturday, you knew you were still going to play the next week. You built partnerships. How can this team build a partnership when the right back's not the right back next week, he's centre mid, the left back's the centre half, the centre forward's centre mid? You boys knew what was going on from a very early stage.
And listen, you want a round of applause for that, because I think you're instigating everything that we go back to it, coaches, not man management, because if Dev's had a good game or he's put his heart in, and managers pick players to win games, different games. He could have a worldie one game and Bruce would go, Devs, I'm not going to play you away at Man United, or I'm not going to play you away at Liverpool, because I don't think we can do that formation. So I think the thing is that's where man management comes in, and coaching as well. And it's hard, listen to me, you can't have, and I always go back to it, I watched the Blackburn game and I look at the setup and I thought, and it's my mate, and I thought, what the fuck is he doing here? I thought Jordan Rose is going to destroy this back four, and he did. Not just him on himself, and the foreigner that scored the 3 goals. It was just Gestini in it. What is it? Gestini. He scored 3 goals, and it's the way he's set up, and you can't legislate playing players out of position. I spoke to Clark, you were down there. You can do it when you're mid-table, you've no players to go for, and you can't get relegated. Then you start experimenting different players in different positions. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you can do. But at this minute in the season and where we've been, you can't do that. You cannot do it.
This is Ron Atkinson, and you're listening to Sports Radio.
Hold on, mate. Hold on.
He said on Tuesday, he said Mullins and Spectre had a good game. They weren't bad, to be fair. Wigan didn't have to do a lot. But tomorrow, Robbo's going to get brought back in. So one of them is out the team. And I agree, Robbo should come back in. But you're changing the centre-half pairing again.
Again, you're changing it, but you look at it, why has he not brought Mullins in before? I don't know if it's... Why ain't he brought him in? I have to look at him and think, you're shitting yourself here. You've got to get the experienced players in back in. Why didn't he get these in 4 weeks ago?
It's the same with Scott Allen. He ain't been good enough all season, and then he throws him in the biggest game of the season.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
The thing about Scott Allen, you look, and we've all heard rumours and this and that. They've took him from the Albion, and Blues have tried to offer him back, and Albion have gone, oh, we don't want him back. So to me, that tells its own, regardless of how good the kid is, that tells its own story. His parent club don't want him back. So he's obviously a bad man. And you're right, you are 100% right. You build up partnerships, whether it be a centre half or, famously it's always a front pairing, isn't it? And if that's changed every week, you can never build a partnership. And, you look at great captains, you've had Dicey and people like that who would marshal the back four. But if it's a different one every week, they don't know how he plays. And, Johno always had bags and bags of pace, so you could play a high line, because, he was quick enough then to get back. Not now. I'm the fittest out of the three of the bastards now, by the way. I'll race him now. Right. No, but Johno, I also tell you, Johno was one of them horrible players to play against, because he touched you, Gary Mills will tell you that, but all over. You couldn't outrun him, you couldn't out-jump him, you couldn't out-strength him, but he would never kick you, he would never take it. And I remember playing against him, he's been my best pal for 20 years, and I took liberty to trade that. I didn't mind that, John, I fucking didn't mind, kick him. He would never do that, but you have to forge an alliance with people, especially centre-halves and the two up front. You have to be consistent with that. In the most recent bit of success we've had with Scott Dan and what was his name? Roger Johnson, yeah. The one who's had 4 relegations in a row. But that's it.
What is your favourite ever blues chant that you've heard? All 3 of you?
You know mine, it's got to be the horse. For me, it's got to be. And I think not just the song. I think it's when you play as a player. It does. People say, "Oh, the crowd gear another 10%, 15%. It does, don't get me wrong. It's awful being booed. Don't get me wrong, listen, and I'll go back to it when I first signed for Blues. For the first 4 or 5 months, I was horrific. I was, because I couldn't get fit. Get on the fucking pool table in that other room and we'll play £100 a frame. And then we'll see who's the boss. Yeah. No, and it is. I think the chance, and I don't know why they fucking call him magic. Fuck me. But
it was tragic.
It's fucking tragic, Johnson. Right. No, but it is like we said. We've got affiliation with Birmingham City. Obviously, Devs is a mad fan, and he's a mad Blues fan. But he's calling me a tool now. I know I've got a tool, but it's just the things. Listen, it's a fantastic thing that when people are chanting your name, it really is, and it does give you a buzz. It really does.
Yeah, question over. I can understand when you say they're chanting your name. I can hear the police shouting, "Drink water, stop your twat." Don't give me excitement. Right, we've mentioned you doing a bird in the air, 3 C's. Right? Yeah, but I can tell people where you actually done the bird was in the ladies' toilet. I was actually there. I was going to encourage you to go and do it. You was an ugly bastard. Geoff, I know what you're doing.
It's fucking is that 9:30? What was your question? I'm only joking, it's a rumour!
Any more questions? Hands up in the air if you've got any questions. Question over here. Dinker, you've had yours.
It's a Geoff.
I'm not on Facebook, no.
Geoff, why don't you do social networking sites? Dev's massive on it, Johno's massive on it.
I got banned off it! I'll tell you the story. I split up with my missus and I'm back now, man. I'm back in the big bed. So I split up with my missus, went on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to go to Devlin for a lads' weekend, so I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm in this bar having a beer and all that, and listen, I can never talk. Devs can't. Johno, he's like that. So I'm having a talk, and all the boys have gone to bed, so I'm stood at the bar, having my Guinness and all that, watching the results come in. There's about 18 birds dropping. I'm thinking, I'm having these lot, by the way. So I'm stood there on my own, trying to chat to them all. Paddy McGuinness walks in. It's all the birds from Take Me Out, isn't it? So I'm stood there talking to them and all that, and I said some rude things to a few of them. And they went on Twitter and said what I said I was going to do to them. So my ex-missus found out about it all. So I got to come off, to be fair. I can't go on things like that.
It can get you into deep trouble.
Fucking gets me into a lot of trouble, believe me, that's why I'm off it.
So we can't talk you to going back on. Any questions over here? We're running out of time. Hold on. Oh, blimey, you've got good eyes. Hold on.
It's one for you, Dev. Look at cities like London, Manchester, Liverpool, yeah? And they produce some of the best talent we've got in the country. Why do you think Birmingham, as a massive city and the junior level, a hotbed of football, why can't we produce players that are as good as Liverpool and Manchester?
I've got to disagree with you there. Who's the hottest talent who we'd have? Well, so we. I'm not an England fan. Who would you have to lead the line for England? Where's he from?
Birmingham.
There you go. It's the scouting network. It isn't the fact we don't produce. You know, I understand what you're saying, but all due respect to Birmingham and our scouting network's crap. You know, John will tell you, crap. We've got Sturridge, the main, you know what I mean? He's a bum. Why ain't he playing as much as Blues, mate? Why ain't he at the Villa or he ain't at Blues? I don't know he's had, but he's made his name at Man City. How does he, probably the best player, Les Scott, Michael Richards, or, you know, Johno's reeling me off names here. They're all Brummies. So there's something wrong with Villa scouting setup, Blues scouting setup, that they're all going. And as well, a big thing, grassroots football now, I'm on about Sunday football, kids football, is getting harder and harder and harder to do. And if you don't nurture them players at that level, they're your pros of the future. Your Sunday league players and your kids players now, 20 years down, we're paying to see them. And if you don't look after them now, they ain't coming through.
Question over here.
Hi guys. You just mentioned you hope England do crap in the World Cup, Devs. Can I ask your three lads your opinions on England's World Cup chances for 2014?
Absolute no chance. I don't think we'll get through the group stages. I really don't. With a squad, you look at our centre half. So we got Jones, Jagielka, who I played with, and Smalling.
Yeah.
Are they good enough centre halves to keep Spain out? Look at the European Cup final, both Spanish clubs. Look at Germany. Look at Brazil. We're over there in the heat, the humidity. If we get through the group stages, I will show my ass in Harrods window, I'm telling you.
This programme's being recorded.
I've still got my cards from Harrods as well, from Fulham.
Hold on, Johno. Yeah, it's recorded.
The programme's being recorded, son.
Can we get Harrods to move to Birmingham as well? So guys, fundamentally, we have got a massive problem in the English game, the British game, from grassroots to the top. How do we change it? Because it strikes me that the people that run the game don't know their arse from their elbow.
Well, there are two things. One you're spot on. Need to get footballing people making decisions rather than people that never kicked a ball in their life and find themselves in that boardroom level making the decisions. Also need to get all your kids, by the way, off the old PlayStation 7 days a week. They need to get down on the field, practicing in a safe environment and making sure that they flipping play football. A game that we've all, I mean, you'd have grown up playing football on a grass pitch.
Yep.
That's the first and foremost thing. And getting the academies back to something like an academy.
Yep.
People who understand football, you coaching these kids rather than graduates that have never kicked a ball. I've read a book which says that they're qualified. No, you're not qualified. These guys can tell you so much more about how to play the game of football.
Absolutely, and as a fan, when you question things, all you do, you get lied to. There's so much bullshit in the game of football. People aren't honest, clubs aren't honest with fans, and all we want from the clubs is honesty, and all we want is people that know how to run football clubs made by football people and football decisions. It ain't rocket science, is it?
Do you know something? I'll go back to that. It's not just the lies to the fans, it's the lies to the coaches and the backstabbing. That's why I come out of football. That's why I didn't enjoy football, because of the backstabbing. And I've gone back into what I started and going back into building game because there's too much backstabbing in football. And I know Johno's got a passion for it, and fair play to him. Yeah, I did, yeah.
What happened on the coach there, Geoff, by the way?
And I'll tell you from the start, and there's not many people I cannot get on with, and I spoke to him in 3 months, and he was my manager for must have been more than 5 minutes in 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And he was my assistant manager, and it wasn't a lot of money when I wanted paying off. It wasn't even what Dev's wanted. It wasn't even $5,000 that I wanted, and I just said, "Listen, give me my check and I'll fuck." And he got me, and then we got him on the coach, and I questioned him. And threw him off the coach, which that's what made me fall out of love with football.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if he got the job and went, "Listen, come in to me, blah blah blah," you know, I'd walk up a broken glass for him. But it's something that at the minute I'm not interested in. I really am not.
Now that is an awful shame when, you know, with all the professional footballers that you've seen, and you must be one of the most honest, genuine, decent geezer that football have had. I mean, I've had my problems. All right, you trust him with your football club, but you wouldn't trust him with... Right?
When he comes round my house, I'll sit there and watch him there.
And what does the dog do when Johno enters your house about a night?
Oh, he stopped at mine the other week, and he's used to dogs, isn't he? So he's all right. So sit there. If that fucker makes a move, attack him.
Dev,
I forgot the question.
Hold on.
Got a question there now, mate.
Well, yeah, over there.
Is that, you said at the World Cup about England being poor. Is it really about the coaching or is it really about the press? Because the press really do hinder
the actual selection of the actual squad.
Yeah.
So when we play friendlies, they say we should choose youth players. Then when they make 8 changes, go, oh, we should have made 8 changes. Now, if you look at like teams like Southampton, who have like 5, 6 English good players, and we're like, well, we should take these and that. Really, we should.
Well, it's a very unique country, England, with regards to press, and then you are right with the press, because I've looked at things in Italy and Spain and all that, and if somebody gets caught shagging in England, it's front page news. They don't bother with that in Spain or Italy. They can do what they can shag and do whatever, the fight whoever they want, as long as they're playing well. Geoff, Senior Geoff. No, but we look at all that, and I think the problem with our football, especially England, because I feel so sorry. We build them up. Like all our sports, when we build them up, we shoot them down. Our press has got to be the worst press in the world. Got to be. And we build. If England win 2 friendlies, say against Germany and Holland, we're going to win the World Cup. You know, England are never winning the World Cup. There isn't one person in here that's going to see England win the World Cup in our lifetime. I guarantee you that. Because now we're going, right, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do it the Spanish way, the Barcelona way, which was 10 years ago. They've moved on to something different now. They're just... And Johno's in the game. He'll tell you. He got no interest in me being a coach or a manager. I wouldn't want to deal with these pair of fuckers. No. But we've got to find our own identity as a nation and say, right, this is what we're going to do. We can't play like Spain. We haven't got the players to play like Spain. We've got to make the most of what we've got, and then that's our ethos. That's how we play. But we chase everyone else.
Hold on, question. Hold on.
What makes you different to Johno? The way you're saying and the way he thinks.
What makes me different to Johno? I'll give you one good guess.
No, still ain't worked it out.
No, sorry. With the way to be honest, I'm very disillusioned with football at the moment. I'm disillusioned with the last. No, I just think the game now is becoming that far away from the game I love. You know, not just. I don't blame the players and all that. Not even that. I mean, we've all played the game at 5, 6, 7. We got paid to play the game, so we're lucky. But you go out and you play because you. And to me now, there's a lot of players that forget. Hang on a minute, you play because you love the game of football. I'm thinking, fuck mate, I'm the luckiest man in the world. Some barnpot's giving me a few quid to play football. I love it. And I just think now, I'm disillusioned with it. You know, Horse has been in the coaching game. I couldn't handle it because if I had a player, so I'd just end up having a scrap. And the love for the game, we all love the game, don't we? Yes or no? We all love the game. And there don't seem enough love for the game here for me now. And that's why I'm a bit different to them. It doesn't interest me in being in the game.
Don't you think that the scouts look abroad more than look round the local playgrounds like they used to years ago?
So again, I missed that, sorry.
Don't you think they look abroad more than they look round the local, the football fields like they used years ago? You used to have local scouts going around like Chelmsley, around Birmingham, but now they look abroad more than look around England.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot more scouts nowadays are more interested in looking outside of Birmingham rather than actually looking in the local schools. And it's criminal. You look at the likes of Darren Carter, people what were born in Birmingham. Paul Devlin's another one. What's came through the system and played for the club. I don't see that. Obviously, Mitch Hancock's is a recent one, but that's slowly going out the game now. If you look at the top end of the English league, the top 4 clubs, you'd struggle to pick 10 English players.
Yeah, that's our problem. As an international team.
How can if you're playing in the Champions League, which is the pinnacle of football in the league system, how can you then transfer that into the England team because they're not playing in the best league?
If you're the England manager, you've got to be struggling to find a World Cup winning team, haven't you, these days?
That's why Dev has said that you're looking a good number of years before actually there's a revamp. End of the day, let's be honest. Let's be honest. The money is sport the game.
Yeah.
From when, and I always say, from when it used to be a working man's game every Saturday, you used to go and watch your football team. Now it's Saturday, Tuesday. It's dictated by Sky. The Premier League get millions for obviously the brand of football what we watch.
Okay, I've got another question over here. Guys, money's dictating the sport at the moment. All the foreign players are swamping the Premier League, and this is obviously one of the pitfalls of the England team and the World Cup. All these players, teams, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, buying all these foreign players. Do you think we should limit the amount of foreign players that can play for our team and give the British or English players a chance to play for these teams and limit, just to give not just the league a bit of a fairer deal, but also England itself a chance in these World Cups?
What you're saying is exactly right, but with the freedom of movement and the work thing now, you can't do it, can you? You can't do it. But the problem now is everyone wants instant success. If you look back years ago when Liverpool bought Ian Rush from Chester, we'll stick him in the reserve for a couple of years, and he goes on to be one of Liverpool's greatest ever goal scorers. If you're in the Premier League now and you see a young kid, whoever, a lower league club, you can't say, I'll buy him now and in 2 years' time he's going to be a top player. Because you haven't got 2 years. You've got to buy a Bulgarian forward who's 30, who's going to get you instant success, and 90% of the time they don't. I mean, Zigic, for all the great Premiership players we've had here, the Bergkamps, the Henrys, the Zolas, you can run them up. There will be 20 failures for them, at least.
Spain, do they not limit the amount of foreign players they allow in their teams in that league?
I don't know how it works, Johno.
Aren't they working well?
But do you know why that works? Everybody buys into the Spanish system. So the Spanish FA fall in line. La Liga falls in line. The grassroots system falls in line. In this country we have Premier League, FA, PFA, all at wars with each other. And at the minute, the Premier League is running the football. So therefore, the FA have a major problem. In the Premier League, you've got majority of foreign managers. Why, if I'm at Arsenal, why am I going to do the English FA? Why is Arsene Wenger going to do the English FA a favour when he's French? Why is Mourinho going to do the English FA and rest the best players for England within the Chelsea system? But in La Liga, it's totally different. And I agree with you, but who governs that? It's not the Premier League. The Premier League are a standard. It's money. Premier League are the most powerful.
Hello, question over here, guys.
So the question is about England as well. Once again, is that why are we so poor when you look at the countries like Argentina, Spain, Brazil, where all their players play in Europe? When we're going to go to Brazil now, and we're like, they're all climates and cold. They're all trained there in that heat. But everyone in Brazil and Argentina play in Europe.
Well, let me tell you, and Johno touched on it earlier, and I think never a true word spoken. Argentina, Brazil, certain areas of Spain, areas with nothing. They ain't got a PlayStation, an Xbox, this. All they've got is right. There's an old tatty football playing the streets. It's gone now. It's gone from this country. It's gone because there's that. We're getting rid of all the pitches for the kids. And they got an Xbox. They get this and that. Whereas when a lot of us was young, all you had to do was go and play football. And now that's gone. In Brazil and Argentina, that's all they've got. And it ain't the case for us now.
Thanks for listening to this Sports Radio Birmingham production.
I heard this and I didn't think it was true. Do you know how he lost his virginity?
I don't even know who he is.
Brazilian football player, is a legend.
Oh, right. Oh, he's a big legend then.
Garincha, little bird. Yeah, won 3 World Cups.
Did he? On his own?
Nah, on his own with the rest of the Brazilians and Pele and that.
Oh.
Do you know how he lost his virginity?
Probably with another one. What a bloke. An animal?
Really? A goat? Did he? Yeah. I swear. A goat. And I've got his book, his autobiography, well, his biography.
Goat?
I swear.
But.
Yeah.
But.
Billy. And apparently it was unusual.
The goat was surprised. I was sitting there chewing a piece of cud. And what do you know? It's not a Brazilian footballer comes up behind me. Before you know it,
it gives me a good old back scuttling.
Before you know it, I'm whoa. Steady on there, boy. The Biscuit Boys, every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. on www.sports-radio.co.uk.